If you want to know how to make money online, watch this video. It has never been easier in the history of mankind than right now to make money, especially using the internet to your advantage. Let me explain. I was recently at a birthday party for one of my daughter's friends when one of the dads came up to me and talked to me about his idea for starting up a cool surfer brand. I looked at him and I told him, you could start up a brand within 2 hours just using a few tools, right? And he looked at me kind of odd and he's asking me all the questions. Well, how do I get a website built? How do I get product created? How do I make a logo? How do I get to the point where I'm selling and monetizing? So I broke it down to him in a very simple manner. A, you use Chat GPT to come up with ideas for brand names. B, once you have a brand name identified, you use Canva to create a logo within seconds, thanks to AI. B, you use Shopify to create a free website and launch a store within minutes. With Shopify, you don't need to have technical expertise on building websites. You can simply use one of their templates and you can sign up for a free trial that gives you about 30 days to use their service and decide if this is for you. And you can be off to the races very quickly with an online store. But here's the kicker. Everyone today is capable of starting an e-commerce business of their own with zero investment. The way that you can create a print-on-demand t-shirt business, like I told my buddy, is using an integration within Shopify called Printful. So Printful is a Shopify app that allows you to upload designs. Then those designs get added onto coffee mugs, shirts, socks, hoodies, bags, you name it. And whenever someone goes to your store and they see that merch that they want to buy and they place an order, then that order goes through Printful. Printful handles printing the merch and then shipping it out, and voila. Within 2 hours, you can go from an idea of a clothing brand, or in my buddy's case, a cool surfer brand, to having a full-scale store with a name, a logo, a business plan, which is also written by Chat GPT, products that are processed and drop shipped through Printful, and then, of course, your own Shopify site that acts as a storefront. All within 2 hours, you can do this and be in business with your own e-commerce brand. So let me share with you a real example of how you can monetize your knowledge and make $1 million. And I'm going to break this down easily for you. There's no gimmicks. There's nothing hidden. So hear me out now. Within my family, I have a relative that spent over 10 years working in the automotive industry for a car dealership. He knows everything that there is to possibly know about car deals. Specifically on the consumer side, he can teach a prospective consumer on how to save money on their next car deal. So I've encouraged him for years now to start up either a mastermind or a paid product of some sort, teaching prospective automobile buyers on how to save $1,000 on their next car purchase. Not a high pie in the sky, how to get a car for free or how to save thousands, but how to save $1,000. So that being said, if he were to create a paid product and price it at $100 and he goes out and he gets 10,000 people to buy that product, that's $1 million right there. Boom. Simply teaching what it is that he acquired over the course of 10 years in his career. It's not difficult, people. Using this example, last year, over 3 million people in the United States alone purchased a vehicle. 3 million. So you had 3 million people that bought a vehicle. If your goal is to sell a $100 product to 10,000 people and you have 3 million people that bought cars last year, you can do the math. It's not hard to find 10,000 people, which is a very small fraction of the total number of consumers that bought vehicles last year. So this is the example that I like to give for the automotive industry because, again, it's a relative who's very close to me. But think about your industry, whether it's real estate, insurance, any sort of service that you can provide and teach people on how to either make money or save money, you put a very small price tag on that. That price tag added up over time will make you hundreds, thousands, and potentially millions. Whether you're into travel, fitness, parenting, marketing, automobiles, real estate, think about creating a niche podcast for your industry. Creating a podcast isn't difficult at all. The way for you to grow your podcast is actually really easy as well. You grow your podcast quickly by inviting every major influencer in your industry to join you on your podcast. The majority of the time, these influencers are not interested in how many listeners you have. What they're looking at this is an opportunity for them to talk about themselves, promote their latest product, promote their book, promote their company. So it's value exchange. You get an influencer who's high profile, that has reach and has a following to come onto your podcast. Over time, let's just assume that you record 50 episodes and you get 50 high profile guests that you interview. Your subscribers are going to organically grow. And once your listeners organically grow, then you're able to get advertisers or sponsors. And the way that you integrate those advertisers and sponsors into your content is either through ads. So you're doing an interview, you're speaking like you are now, and then you just cut over to the ad and say, hey, this episode is sponsored, presented by X. Or you invite your sponsors and advertisers onto your show and you do a sponsored episode. If you do 50 episodes of your podcast, by that point, you should have enough listeners that you can confidently go to sponsors and advertisers and make money off of your podcast. The next is start a newsletter. When you're giving immense value through a newsletter, whether it's marketing news, whether it's a roundup of job openings for a specific industry or field, you're giving so much value up front that value is going to resonate over time with your subscribers sharing your newsletter within their network. And that's organically how you're going to be able to grow your newsletter opt-ins. What you want to have happen here is as your newsletter grows, now you're going over to advertisers and potential sponsors to pay you for advertising space in that newsletter. So let's think about a newsletter that has, let's say, 100,000 subscribers on it, right? If you're giving value, there's good content, the subscribers and the opt-ins will follow. Now you go to an advertiser and you say, hey, look, I do this daily newsletter. It's specifically for marketers. I have over 100,000 marketers that are opted in and subscribed, but it's completely free. I'm not making any money off of it because I want to be able to give as much value as I can. I don't want to do necessarily a paid newsletter subscription. Advertiser then says, well, I want to reach that 100,000 marketers. So what's your rate card? That's when they'll pay you to either run an ad in your newsletter or to just do a sponsored campaign tied to your newsletter. If you want to make some extra money by freelancing, sign up for an account with Fiverr and sign up specifically to be an email copywriter or a website copywriter. If you really want to know a marketing growth hack, use Chat GPT to do the heavy lifting for you. As an added bonus of how to make money online in 2024, think about selling sneakers and sports cards in online groups such as Facebook. This requires very little investment. In fact, if you have sneakers that are used sitting around your house right now, you can join sneaker reselling groups on Facebook and you can simply post photos of those used sneakers. And I'm more than certain that as long as they're in good condition and it's a shoe that someone wants, like a Yeezy or a Jordan or a Dunk, that shoe will get purchased by somebody. Then what you do is you take the profits from those sales and invest them into new sneakers. Sign up for the Nike Sneakers app. Start signing up for drops. And when these shoes drop on the Nike Sneakers app, now you have new inventory that you can take into a store like the Hype section, which is my store, and you can turn those sneakers into cold hard cash. And let's not forget about sports cards either. Sports cards have created a large monetization play specifically on eBay. If you have loose sports cards sitting around your house, you got into the hobby a few years ago, and you just want to be able to turn those cards into cash, put them on eBay. Even if you list them at $1 with free shipping, and after shipping, you're making 50 cents. Trust me, folks, those 50 cents per card, they add up real quick. That's it. Those are my tips on how to make money in 2024 online. If you found these tips valuable, be sure to give me a thumbs up and follow me on Instagram as well as over on X at CarlosGill83. Let's get it.